The sports gaming genre is in a bit of a lull, as years see the same titles take center stage with hardly any competition. Great games like Rocket League are starting to run out of steam and the market sits bare. But Rematch from the experienced developer SloClap seeks to turn that around by creating a fresh take on the classic game of soccer. Rematch is an exciting, fast-paced, combo-driven soccer game that has gotten a ton of buzz around it. Its systems are tight, its visuals are unique, and its gameplay is bombastic and exciting. So today on Game Rant, let's look at the hype surrounding Rematch. The developer of Rematch is a studio called SloClap. At first, their track record feels off when put next to Rematch, with their previous titles Absolver and Sifu both being fighting games. Absolver was a semi-open world game where you could fight against enemies as you ramped up your abilities and skill sets. It had a Dark Souls-like online system which allowed you to test out deep fighting combos in order to perfect the game's combat. The systems in Absolver were insanely complex, and while it was quite a good time, it never really reached a large audience. Sifu, however, went on to become quite popular, being nominated for Game of the Year awards and being covered by tons of media outlets. In this, it saw insane critical acclaim with its John Wick-style story matched to tight, difficult gameplay as you worked through its levels. It had a super interesting system where you could level up by dying, but this would make your character older, giving you debuffs and bringing you closer to real death. But how does this all relate to Rematch? Well, SloClap has established itself as a studio capable of making fantastic games. Using both the netcode they developed for Absolver and the fighting-based combos and movement of Sifu, they are surprisingly a perfect fit for a soccer game with an insane skill ceiling. Combos, movement, fluid play, it's all something that Sifu, Absolver, and Rematch need, and it seems as if SloClap is capable of perfecting it. But all of these possibilities mean nothing if the game isn't good. I had the opportunity to play a couple of the betas for Rematch. While it wasn't enough time for me to master the mechanics of the game, it's evident that there is a deep well of skill progression to be had in its systems. The three modes of 3v3, 4v4, and 5v5 on the surface don't sound all that different, but the way they play is entirely unique. 3v3 is kind of a free-flowing, chill trick shot competition. No one really takes it seriously, and a lot of the games devolve into people getting wide-open shots on goal. 4v4 is more serious, and often has a lot of tactical passing with knowledgeable movement and good goalie play, but 5v5 is really where the meat of Rematch is found. Here, good positioning really matters, making smart decisions with the ball on whether to pass it or to shoot it really matters, and having a goalie that is locked in at all times making good plays and good clears is imperative. In all this, like a good fighting game, there is a ton of skill expression. Passing and dribbling effectively is difficult as defenders often crowd the field, but once you've started to get the hang of it, it's so satisfying to get your teammate a wide open shot or to dribble around an opponent. But surprisingly, I think the most fun position to play in Rematch is goalie. The goalie dictates everything that happens on the field, especially in 5v5. Most good shots on goal are opened up by the goalie as they create good positioning and get their players open. When you're the goalie, it feels like you're the coach, moving every part into its place as you view the field in its entirety. Other than that, defense plays about as you'd expect. Stealing comes down to good positioning, and slide tackles often come down to absolutely destroying your opponent since there are no fouls and there's no out of bounds. That's one of my favorite elements of Rematch. The walls are all spots for you to bounce the ball off of, just like in Rocket League. This can help keep the pace of the game going at breakneck speeds while also being used for tactical play. There are a couple of things I could see getting in Rematch's way though. Mainly, solo queuing can be rough. Coordinated teams absolutely shred freelancers, and it would be nice to have some sort of alternative mode that made solo play more enjoyable. Also, a smaller nitpick is that I think the crowd is really cool, but I rarely ever notice they're there. It would be nice to have some sort of focus on them when you score goals to give more hype to each moment. With all that said, there could not be a better time for a Rematch to launch. While the multiplayer gaming scene is thriving, there is a giant soccer goal-sized hole in the sports market. Rematch's largest form of competition would come in the form of FIFA, or EA Sports FC as it's now known. And while the soccer giant continues to dominate, there is a wide audience of players looking to steer clear of EA's aggressive monetization scheme of implementing lottery-style loot boxes and pay-to-win mechanics. Rematch offers a more stripped-back experience with with only cosmetic-based monetization. It's also a whole lot more intimate and innovative, focusing on player movement rather than team cooperation. Its other competition, Rocket League, is still going strong with 24-hour peaks in the 28,000 player range, but it's definitely not what it used to be considering it's a 9-year-old game. The market is primed for this innovative take on the iconic sport, and no developer has ever been more suited to fill this gap than SloClap. The hype around the betas is palpable. It's all over Instagram, and huge streamers like Northern Lion streamed it for the entire weekend. Its Twitch watch peak was 107,568, while its Steam followers numbers is up to 75,738. There is a lot of excitement around it, and after playing it myself, I can absolutely say it lives up to that excitement. SloClap knows what they're doing. Their experience in fighting games gives them a unique ability to utilize their good netcode and their competent third-person movement systems to create a soccer experience unlike any other. It's fast, it's reactive, it's team-oriented, and it's unbelievably fun. I think that Rematch will take the world by storm when it launches on June 19th. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Thanks for watching.